welcome back to the channel, freaks. We have so many updates. I feel like I haven't talked to you in so long because I pre-filmed before I left for Alaska. For starters, I am now on fasted cardio, so I just got back from that this morning. I still feel really confident about my hair, even though this went through Stairmaster session, guys. Would you believe that? With dry shampoo. Come on now. But the biggest change really is just coming down to my meal plan. So I've never been on a meal plan before ever in my fitness journey. I've always just done macros. And as of Tuesday, I have been on meal plan. So Georgia has written that for me. I've been following that for the past couple of days. I wanted to show you guys everything that I get to eat on my meal plan right now, and I'm really excited about it because it's been such a huge change. And I've already noticed a pretty significant difference in how I feel and also in my, there's something about cardio mouth. If you're a fasted cardio queen, there's a birdie. Can you tell me, there is like a gumminess to your texture in your mouth. This is disgusting. Just, hey, wanna have a full day of eats while I just talk about the nastiest thing ever? But like, you get gummy mouth and I cannot have gum right now. So I don't know how to quench that, scratch that. Cheers, these are the greens that I use. Oh, kidding. I do L-glutamine first. It doesn't matter, so cheers. We're gonna be making our meal one right now since I am home from fasted cardio. That was still 35 minutes. I did have my check-ins this morning, so I don't know if that is going to change or not. Very likely that it will, I don't know. But what's interesting about meal plan is I'm actually not tracking it. She just gives me like what it is. I could track it if I cared, but I don't really give a fuck. I just kind of follow what it is. So I don't actually know what my nutrition changes are. Like, I don't know what my calories are right now. I just follow what she gives me, and then she'll make adjustments to that sort of as we go. Again, I did take check-ins this morning. I did hit a new low yesterday, so I don't know if we're gonna be changing protocol stuff or not. Even though we're on meal plan, y'all, it's the same shit. Not much has changed because breakfast is still my favorite meal, and that is just going to be eggs and potatoes. But with some changes, okay? She wants me eating every 3 to 4 hours, and the goal, because I train around, I get 60 grams of egg whites in this little bowl here. Not to sound really annoying, these are farm-raised eggs from Nick's family has a farm, and I'm not even trying to sound like stupid, but like you taste a difference and you feel a difference. Satiety-wise, I can tell when and the egg yolk color is like my eggs, even when I scramble them, are yellow. But when I use just like the Walmart eggs, they're white, even though I add 2 yolks to it. Farm raised is kind of the way to go, guys. Don't shoot the messenger there. I typically train around noon, so we want to have about 2 meals in prior to training. So getting up early, getting my fasted cardio in, so I have time to have breakfast, have that settle in my stomach a little bit, and then also do my pre-workout meal prior to training. So this is 250 grams of a sweet potato that we're going to put in the microwave. Meal plan, but like, it's home, you know? One thing we are trying to work on a little bit was my fiber intake, because as we get into prep, I'm gonna be licking every spoon and fork with whatever's on it, by the way, guys, so you can leave your comment. Ew, you ate that. Yes, you would do it too. My fiber intake was a bit like leaning towards criminal. I always add spinach to my eggs. And right now, I don't have spinach in my eggs, and it's been like a weird, I'm like, what are you talking about? Where's the spinach? I'm gonna put my microwave on. I do think it's been helping a little bit with my digestion, actually, interestingly enough. Usually for the majority of people, I feel like fiber is something that you need to be really focusing on, but because of how many potatoes I eat and just vegetables, do not need to be as concerned about that. So we've reduced that just a little bit. Using your egg fork to get your greens back to mix in. Yep. I dermaplaned my skin last night, so hopefully I don't get a greens mustache again like I've been getting, but if I do, whatever. I'm just going to soft scramble my eggies here. Like, do you see how potent yellow that is? It's almost orange. I really do feel like there is such a difference. So we're gonna cook our eggs, finish up our potato, and then I'll check in with you when I assemble my plate because you know how to scramble eggs, okay? I hope. As our potato finishes up, do you see that color? That is like Big Bird Sesame Street. That's an ostrich egg. That would be a bulk hack. Literally just have 1 ostrich egg a day. And you're good. Like, I can't even imagine the nutrient density in one of those bad boys. I'm so happy that I learned about kimchi, guys, because this is the first time, like, through this prep I've never like really tried kimchi before, and it's so freaking good for you too, like with fermented foods for your gut health and stuff. So I get 50 grams of that, and I love putting it next to my eggs because some of the juice kind of drips in there. Hey, ew. Real ones get me. I don't have to worry about that, but I do 50 grams of, this is the best kimchi. Seriously, this brand and their sauerkraut, but kimchi is the specific fermented food that she wants me taking right now, but it's I could swim in it, you know? I think I also love this meal the most because it's the biggest one of the day. Artificial sweeteners like Jello mix, stuff like that have also been cut. The sweeteners that I can have, she said I can use sugar-free syrup, and I am limited to 2 diet sodas, whether that's like a Zevia or like any kind of diet soda a day. But anything else, you know, condiments, sauces, of course, like creamers or gum has been cut, things like that have been cut. I can still take my apple cider vinegar, but which actually I need to do now that I think about it, but that would just need to be fasted. I usually take that with like a peach mix drink. Like I've been doing that for 4 years and I really enjoy it so much, and that's been the biggest thing that I've honestly noticed I'm like itching for. But the peach mix that I use, I can no longer use right now. I just try to cut it this way. 70 grams of blueberries as well. Put them in the little pocket. I am still cleared to have like stevia and sugar-free syrup as of right now, so I am going to cover my potato in that with a little bit of sugar-free syrup. Just a dash. Here is going to be my meal 1. So I have my sweet potato, kimchi, eggs, and blueberries on the side. I have my little gauntlet of supplements that I take as well, which like half of those is my multivitamin. But this is kind of what meal 1 looks like. I'm really excited to munch on this for sure. Alaska went so well, y'all. I was so stressed about that, but Nick made it. I got him a Lego set for us to build together when we got back because I was like, he treats, one thing I don't want to say I'm insecure about it, but I really want my prep to be mine. Meaning I don't want to make other people feel like they have to be worried about when I'm getting my cardio in, and I don't like feeling like kind of like a burden in that way. So I didn't want him to feel like his trip was ruled by when I can go to the gym and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? Like it's me. I signed up for this. He's not paying a coach. He's not, you know, doing this shit, whatever. I was able to get all the groceries that I needed to. I got a Planet Fitness membership for like that little 2-day period that ended up being fine. Everything passed through TSA perfectly fine somehow, except my tripod for my phone, which I need to order. I have that on my checklist upstairs to order because somehow I broke through TSA. I don't really know. It was really a total breeze. It was a very quick trip. I'm still recovering from it because our flight got delayed like 3 different fucking times, and there's a huge time difference. I was feeling, like I got like 3 hours of sleep for like 2 nights in a row. And as somebody who really gets like 9 when she can, it was kind of crazy. And I was a little worried because like weight was spiking up just because I was really stressed out and traveling and whatever, but you just stick to your plan, and I'm back down, and I hit that new low yesterday. We're up. The wedding was beautiful. I'm really grateful for that opportunity. I was able to meet some of Nick's family that actually lives in Anchorage, which is awesome. We were able to see some mountains. We went on this little like hike trail thing. It was literally a Bob Ross painting IRL. It was incredible. So although it did take some door dashing, I had to DoorDash a scale, like a bathroom scale for my check-ins on Thursday because I didn't realize that was when that was happening. And when I met the girl when she dropped it off, I was like, I'm in prep. Like, I'm so sorry, because she probably saw that and was like, who the fuck needs a scale at like 7 in the morning? Like, you're good. And I'm like, I know, but like this is different. Like, and she told me, it was so cute. Guys, talk to people like you already know them. She was like, oh my God, my dad's a bodybuilder. I get you, girl. Like, have a great check-in. I was like, thank you. And I was able to get everything I needed. And it's just great positive evidence that you can control your variables when you make them a priority, you know? I was able to bring all of my food to everything. The people at the wedding were so nice, so just like genuinely interested in what was happening and like why. And it was just a very supportive, beautiful trip. The wedding itself was beautiful. Everybody was in really good spirits. So head upstairs, work on some client stuff, get that organized so that we can then come back for meal 2, which is my pre-workout meal. I just opened this. Guys, this is the raspberry color, the Defy section, like release. The drop, if you will. This is so cute. I love how it's like wide here. I love this color. We're making our pre-workout meal. So this is actually gonna be cream of rice, which I had never had prior to doing this. So this is just 50 grams. First time I made this actually, guys, so I was at Nick's place and the plumbers were there. And I was trying to like film it on TikTok while they were there. It was a moment. So we're gonna do 50 grams in this bowl. It looks like mashed potatoes, but it's like not. 3 packets of stevia and a little bit of salt, and then you just cook it with water. It's kind of like oatmeal in the way of you have to trust the process because it looks worse before it looks better kind of thing. Like this, and then I give it a really good mix. And you have to mix it because it gets sludgy. It's kind of like do you remember that one, it was in a foam, it was like a kinetic sand where you'd put it in your hand and it would like get firm and then something like, it's kind of like that. I don't really know how to explain that, but we're gonna put it in the microwave for like 2 minutes and then mix it again because it gets like I was gonna say it gets like foamy. Just hold on. Ends up literally looking like mashed potatoes. Like, you can't tell me that's not what that is. But it's like a fluffy, I don't really know. The reason this is preferred over something like oatmeal is just because there's no fiber in it. So I can train pretty, like, relatively quickly after eating this compared to oatmeal where it would just have a lot of fiber. It would slow my digestion down. So my body is not reluctant or hesitant to use that energy, but it's just gonna take longer for that to kind of happen. So while that cools down, because I don't wanna add my protein just yet, I am gonna make my pre-workout for this to get a little bit cold in the fridge while all that happens. So I take my creatine in my pre-workout drink, even though this is technically post-workout. It's just how I take my creatine. It's watermelon flavored, Recharge from Legion. They're having a huge 4th of July sale, by the way, guys. So code Haley if you want to. For the pump powder, this is the Evogen Amino Chem. This is just for a pump that you would like me taking as well. This is tropical something. Tropical Thunder. I don't know what that means, but it's kind of like pineapple-y. For my actual pre-workout, I'm just gonna do a scoop, like a heaping scoop of the stem-free tropical punch, because I feel like those flavors all go. Guys, that's 1 scoop in there. She does want me also taking a gram of salt in my pre-workout as well for some electrolytes while I train, so I'm going to add that. Look at that, cute color. I'm gonna add some ice and let this get really cold. My sweetened mashed potatoes. It's like the inverse of when people do savory oatmeal, which I still have yet to do. I guess we'll have to wait for after prep so I can try my savory oats. Now we can circle back to Tater Town. Do you see how it's so thick like that? Like, that's not moving. 30 grams of the peanut butter fudge protein from Legion. This is definitely up there and one of my favorite protein flavors, and we're gonna slowly mix that. I do think you can still, I talk about whey drips like there's genuinely a rule book and a guideline regulation. I do think you could probably whey drip this, which might be easier to mix it up. Again, I just don't really feel like doing that. So 16 grams of peanut butter. This specific jar actually is the one that I brought home with me from Alaska because I got to buy one while I was up there. And it got through TSA, so for those wondering, if you check a bag, you can bring peanut butter. It doesn't count as a liquid, so that's great. Or maybe it does, I don't know. Kind of drizzle that just to like show you guys what it is, but then I'm gonna mix it like immediately after for the thumbnail. Okay, we're done. I'm gonna give this a second to cool down before we eat it, but I'm gonna eat this up and then we're going to wait about 20 minutes. And then my drive to the gym is like 20 minutes. So to give it a good like 30, 40 minutes before we go and train. So I will see you after the gym. Back from training, I noticed, guys, you can't really see it now. I just had a fire back session. I was doing bicep curls. They're my last like exercise in my easy bar, bicep curls. And I noticed a chest vein. It could have been the overhead lighting. I don't know, but we are in chest vein territory. How sick is that? But we're making our post-workout meal now, which is pretty basic. We got another sweet potato, which I'm feeling great about. I've been struggling a little bit in finding sweet potatoes that are, number one, smaller, because I just gravitate towards the big girls. This one, for example, is perfect because this is exactly 200 grams. I only had to cut off the little tiny butts. But sometimes, like for my breakfast one, usually my potatoes are either, my breakfast potato is 250 grams, this potato is 200, and then my dinner potato is only 100 grams. So sometimes when I get like a white potato for my dinner, like I have to cut half of it to get 100 grams, and I'm like, what do I do with the other? Can I just keep the other half? I feel bad throwing it away. But I think once you cut it, it's like open to the, it's exposed. So then you can't, so do I just find, I don't really know if anybody else is like that, because you weigh it raw, right? So that's what, and she has that noted into my notes, which for lifestyle, by the way, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you stay consistent with whatever one that you're choosing. And usually on like MyFitnessPal or something like that, it'll have like a raw or cooked measurement there. I'm going to put this in the microwave for like 4.5 minutes. But that's kind of been a struggle because I don't want to waste it. I don't know. If anyone has any tips on that, that would be great. Steamed 100 grams of broccoli. This is gonna burn my fingers off, so we're gonna get a fork. My workout was completely carried by Beyonce. That sentence has probably been said so often. That's the opposite of like an original thought. Lemonade, dude, I be blasting that in my damn headphones while I'd back, and it was so good. And I got a compliment. It's one of the guys that goes to my gym that I see often, but like we don't talk. You know, it's like one of those where it's just like, I know you're here and like we know that we are there kind of thing. One of my movements is a T-bar row, but the T-bar machine has been broken at my gym for forever. So I just use like the chest supported, very similar overhand grip, but it's like a row machine kind of thing to get the height, whatever. And he was like, hey, I just want to let you know your form on those was really good. I was like, he was like, yeah, you were really gonna go full stretch. I was like, thank you. That's so nice. Here's my bucket of beef. 95.5 beef. Georgia wants me having 96.4. I searched, let me tell you guys, 3 different grocery stores for it, and I had to text her. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how did you find this? Where do you get this from? Like, that's insane. She said she gets it from Wegmans or from, I think it was, she said Wegmans. And I checked the Wegmans that was near me and they didn't have it. So I had to DoorDash. 95.5 was the closest that I could get. So she adjusted my meal plan, like overall, so that it can fit the 95.5. I did find it in Walmart yesterday when I went, the 96.4, that I will, once I'm running out of this, then I'll use that. Whatever. So we're gonna do 100 grams of 95.5 ground beef. I just cooked all of the beef that was in the package yesterday, and I'm just keeping it in a little bucket. I had the same thing with my chicken. Plain, there's nothing really on it. I'll heat it up and put seasoning and shit on it as well. But got my beef, love my beef. I always think of that girly from Vine. I smell like beef. How is she doing with my broccoli? Beef and broccoli? Okay, it's kind of common, right? Add some salt. You see this, how this is formed? We're gonna get this little butt bite. I'm gonna save that for me on the side. I obviously cover my sweet potatoes with sugar-free syrup. Every time I've had this, the past like 3 days, I'm kind of considering allegedly accidentally getting a little bit of syrup on my beef. Cause it's kind of good, like a sweet savory. Like, I don't know how to explain that. For my beef bitches and bros, like, I feel like you kind of get me. It's really good to have a little bit of sweet. So I just take a little bit. I don't track this, by the way, because I like barely use any. Just like a little on the beef. Not too much though. Who said that? Not too much. I'm on to, I think, my 3rd one of these. So we're going on 4 to 5 liters of water a day. So I'm sipping on this thing all the time. This is my pacifier, are you kidding me? I did put some ice in it though because I was just drinking lukewarm water. Interesting selection, girl. Post-workout meal that I get to eat, and Georgia did get back to me on my check-ins. Tie-ins came out of nowhere. The past 2 weeks, we're not gonna have an issue getting those in. Things are responding really, really well. I did hit that new low that I mentioned, so we're gonna just keep meal plan the same until Monday. We are planning a refeed sometime next week, which is dope, but we're just gonna keep pressure exactly where we are, is what she said. So I'm excited about that. I like having the routine. Having protocol change so often, it keeps you very alert and on your toes. And so for things to kind of hold steady, is nice to get slowly into routine, because the first day on meal plan, honestly, it was really hard for me. Really struggled. I don't know. It wasn't even that I was like hungry. It was just I was thinking about, okay, what's my next meal and am I gonna have the ingredients? And it was a different kind of mental thing that I'm used to, because I'm just used to, okay, I'm hungry, let me go make lunch and like see what I can make. It was a different kind of pressure that I'm adapting to, and I already feel so much more in my groove slowly, even just doing it a couple of days. So to anybody out there who's adjusting to a new anything, give yourself time to adjust. I'm still recovering from fucking jet lag too. Like, I'm trying to give myself grace with that. One thing that I always remind myself too, that Kenzie Vance had actually said, is lean into the hard. With a prep example, and now granted, please have the discernment to recognize this is not a lifestyle kind of advice thing, but the shitty, horrible, hard days where you're like, how the fuck am I gonna get through this? You're probably gonna wake up with a new low. And I did. So it's kind of those things where when I feel really, really challenged and like I'm having a hard time, I'm like, but this means that I'll probably have a new low tomorrow. So that was kind of something that helped get me through that, and to see that literally be true, I was like, okay, period. I'm just very dramatic, and I've been journaling so much, and journaling has saved me, truly. Like, I always have journaled, but especially in prep, to like write down your thoughts, you're able to see how they are, like just at a very basic sense, and that can help you reflect on kind of navigating through them. I feel great. I feel very energized today. I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun. I'm feeling so focused and guided, and complete 180 of how I was feeling like 2 days ago. And I can recognize, I love the gift of hindsight. Wow. That period was just me doing something new for the first time. Like, why would I be good at it? I just flinched at my potato dropping. There was something in my body that was like, no. I was able to shower and do a couple of my clients. This is usually the time of my day where I get a little bit peckish. That peach drink that I usually make, this would be usually happening right now. But because that's not happening, I have broken my streak, you guys, and I did indeed purchase 2 things yesterday at Walmart. One of those would be a 0 sugar ginger ale and a 0 sugar root beer, which are 2 of my favorite diet sodas. We do have Diet Coke, but I'm still trying to work on my caffeine. So I did have yesterday my first diet soda of the year, and it was a diet root beer. Helped carry me over prior to dinner and to have something other than water, because I've already gotten like almost 2 gallons of water in, so I need something to sip on that is not water kind of vibes. I can have decaf coffee, and I did get a sugar-free syrup, 0 sugar, 0 calorie. Georgia said I can't have this, so I do get to have decaf coffee. I just don't feel like that's the vibe. I feel like it's a diet soda vibe. And for those wondering, there's nothing wrong with having diet soda. It was just a personal challenge to myself because I was so drinking like a gallon of Diet Coke a day. Like, it was so much. It was kind of hurting my digestion a little bit, and I wanted to also, for caffeine purposes, take a little bit of a break. So that's why I went on that hiatus, and I wanted to push myself as long as I could. When I started meal plan on Tuesday, I was really struggling, and I was like, damn, why am I making it like something that is already hard, a hard that I signed up for, purposefully harder, just because I want to keep this like streak to myself that isn't. It's okay to help yourself. So it's okay, guys. So I don't feel any shame. I'm gonna have this while I work on the rest of my client stuff this evening. I do plan on eventually incorporating caffeine. I know that the farther along we get in prep, I will need it because I will be probably a tired Nelly, a tired Tammy. For right now, I'm just trying to control it because my tolerance was so bad. That way I feel like when I do incorporate it, like even a cup of regular coffee, I feel like I'll be a fucking chipmunk. So comment your favorite diet sodas without caffeine, because these are the only 2 that I know they don't have it, is the ginger ale and the root beer. It is dinner time. It's interesting, this meal I'm always the most hungry for, which is kind of funny because I think about like even between my last meal, meal 5, and breakfast, I don't really wake up hungry, but something about this one to dinner, like I'm always ready to munch. So we're gonna squash that itch with just the most appetizing chunk of meat. This is just, I shredded up some cooked chicken. I just broiled all of my chicken in the broiler, and then I shredded it up, and you can't really see what's happening. I feel like I've said that in so many of my videos, you can't really see what's happening. Sorry guys. I get 120 grams of chicken breast, which I was gonna just cook all the breasts and like leave them, but I love something about having it shredded. I love a good shredded something. It just makes it easy to eat. I don't really know. So 120 grams, just like that. This always makes me giggle because 100 grams of potato is literally like, it's this little guy. We get this little spud. I'm gonna heat this up separate since this is already warm really quick.
How much is 100 grams? It's like a baseball size.
Of what? Girl, you wanna look?
Yeah,
it's this.
That's 100 grams?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Which,
oh my god.
It's a little babe. It's a
like
nook. Be nice to her.
A plum.
It is a plum. Get your plum of potato. We optimistically spread out to just kind of feel a little better about it. But we have a potato in there. I have 100 grams of broccoli as well on the side. I am gonna season my chicken, so just calm down. We're gonna top all of this off with 20 grams of cheddar cheese, which I just pull from the bag like that. Can you even see that? I just said it again. 20 grams. I do it mostly on my taters, because that's always good time, but then a little bit on my broccoli. Because when I was growing up, Mom, remember when you would always put cheese on my broccoli?
Oh yeah.
So it's just like a childhood kind of moment. So I'm gonna reheat this 30 seconds so that it gets melty. This is sort of how I habit stack, if you will, where I'm getting sort of my evening sunlight while I enjoy my meal outside. And I do love eating outside while I can, but this is my dinner. Look at my thumbnail bit. Eating with your hands makes it taste better. Like it seriously does every single time. Evening sunlight, we'll pack a bag and go to Nick, and I'll see you at his place. We have finally made it to Nick's place. He is still on his way home from work. He's been working his ass off. He's amazing. His work ethic is something I seriously look up to. So we're making our last meal of the day, which is 300 grams of HaleyC, just plain Greek yogurt. Some stevia to this to sweeten it. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I have been missing my Jello mix quite a bit just because thickness wise, like once you do it, you can't go back. Like there's literally no going back to regular. But I will say just having HaleyC as the plain Greek yogurt does make a huge difference because other plain Greek yogurts, they're still too runny. It has to be the HaleyC consistency. So what I've been doing to kind of mirror it being thicker is I've been freezing it for 10 minutes so that it seriously does kind of like freeze halfway before I add everything into it. We are going to add some peanut butter to this. 16 grams of peanut butter. If I was doing like a what I eat in a day, I would like drizzle it all on top and make it look all good, but like I want to freeze the peanut butter in there. So I guess for thumbnail purposes, we'll just do this. We're gonna mix this up in there, which also kind of helps thicken it up as well. And put this in the freezer for a little bit so that it can really get hard. If it's like thin on the sides, then it will really freeze. So I like go around it like that. Does that make sense? Such a pretty sunset, by the way, guys. I don't know if you can see that through there. Isn't that gorgeous? I just got a notification that my card is about to run out of storage, guys. So we gotta go fast. But this is my last meal, okay? I have my ashwagandha and my magnesium with my 2 caramel rice cakes and my yogurt that is now finished being frozen, kind of. And I'm watching SpongeBob. I don't know when my memory card is gonna be done, but this is my last thing that I get to eat today. Thank you for watching. I love you guys so much. You mean the world to me. And go get big.